Assalamu alaikum friends. So welcome to AFM Specimen Paper, and we are going to do question number 1. As you know that previously I have done question number 2 of the AFM Specimen Paper regarding net present value and adjusted present value. There I taught you how to use Excel, the formulas, and this question number 1 is about so many things. Okay, it has exchange rate risk management, it has interest rate risk management, it has modified duration, it has ethical questions, right? Discussion questions. We have to write a report. And question number 1 is very important because it's a 50 marks question. Number 1. Number 2, the 4 professional marks are there in your question number 1. Okay. And if you ask me which question should you attempt first, I always say section A first. Section A. Because there's 50 marks and you cannot afford to lose 50 marks as well as the 4 professional marks. So let's start, and I'm not going to read the question. So come prepared for this. Read all. Okay, because the purpose of this video is to show how to use Excel, how to use Word and the formulas, and how to set up in an appropriate way your answer, how to structure. So let me tell you, the requirement 1 is about hedging. Okay, using forward, future and options regarding exchange rate, and also for interest rate we have in part 2 we have to use an interest rate swap, how it will benefit. Okay, so the question here, just see it, say advise which is the appropriate hedging strategy for the payment. For this question, you need to use both word processor and spreadsheet. Okay, why? Because in the spreadsheet you will be using it for the calculation perspective. Okay, you can even use in the word also and through a calculator also, you can say like that. But trust me, you can try it and do it, because I have tried it yesterday and it's very time consuming. It took me 1 whole hour just to finish part A and part B only. I was able to cover that too in 1 hour. So you can see that this question will should take 90 minutes, and out of 90 minutes, if 1 hour I'm spending on section A and B, then how am I going to complete the others? I have 3 more, 1, 2, 3, and it's a 50 marks question. I was just testing, because before I advise people do this, do that, first of all I should test this on myself. So I did it with a calculator under the word. It's very time consuming and you should not do it, because you should think of the time also. If you have the time, okay, all the time in the world, nicely you can do in the word, use calculator, do but every time using calculator, every time you have to input the number, it wastes a lot of time. Rather use Excel. You input the number once, follow the function, the formula, it's already there, formula is inbuilt, just do it and that's done. And you can even copy paste it to the other cell also, so time is saved there. Okay, so calculation part you'll be doing on spreadsheet, and if you have to writing part, you'll be doing it in the word processor. Okay, so let me start with requirement A, and we are not going to touch the other requirements, and I'm not going to go through the exhibits. Only the important one is for A, that is for hedging. So I'm going to open my spreadsheet and proposal 1. So the payment is this. This is the payment. 5,060,000 is the payment, and in 4 months time you have to hedge. Okay, so this yesterday I did modified duration, which is there, but it's okay, I will be doing it again. So make sure that when you're doing it, all the requirements has to be answered in 90 minutes. Okay, your reading plus your calculation plus your planning, writing, everything has to add up to 90 minutes. Okay, so before you start, always make sure that you write the label, because Excel can be used for many different requirements, not only one requirement. So you have to write A. You're using this for requirement number A. Okay, write all the amounts in one cell. For example, the payment, foreign payment. Okay, you can put the dollar sign, because the dollar is the payment and Swiss franc is the home country. So what is the payment? 5,060,000. So 5, 60, 1, 2, 3. Don't put comma. If you put comma here, it becomes a text. It will not be treated as a number. Then you cannot use it for the function. Okay. So after 5, there should be 6 digits. Okay. Okay. Just check. Always double check your number of zeros, because sometimes you might put one number less or one number more. So always check. There are 4 zeros after 506. Now, you always start, you can start in any order. Okay. But forward is the easiest. So I'm going to use the forward. The rate I'm going to write here. What is the rate for the forward? So the rate for the forward, I have to go to proposal number 3, and this is the rate 1.0677. It is US dollar per Swiss franc. So 1.0677. This is the forward rate. It is US dollar. Dollar sign is already there, right, in your laptop. But if you want, then here the symbol is here. Go there and you can get the dollar sign from here also. But by default, it's there. But other signs are not there, like pounds or euro or peso or yen. If you want this, it's there. Okay, so US dollar, it will be US dollar per 1 Swiss franc. Okay, make sure that you write this notation also. Sometimes it might be the other way around, because this will help you whether you have to divide the rate or multiply the rate. So writing all those things beforehand, it's better rather than you doing the calculation. Okay, so now under forward, you don't have to write all the dates under future option, everything. Those you can use later. So now I'm going to first use forward. Make it bold so that I know I'm working under forward. Okay, under forward, much is not needed. Okay, you just have to take this and divide by this rate and find under forward. Okay, so under forward, make sure that when you're writing the answer, be very consistent. If you're using forward, future option, all the answer has to be in the same manner, and make sure that they are not in different cells. So it becomes very confusing for you also later on, and for the examiner also later on. So let's say you're putting all the answers in this cell. So make sure all your answers are in this cell only. B or C, whatever it is you according to you. Okay, so here how am I going to perform? No need to show this divide by this. Or automatically, if you are doing it, someone can click that cell and they can see the formula like this. You divide it, because this is also in US dollar. This is also US 1.0677. So divide. That's it. You see? You already got this amount in what? Swiss franc. And now always round up. Okay, the currencies and all don't keep in decimal. So how are you going to round this up? This I've showed in my video too, but I'm again showing it in question number. Go to format cell and press this. Under all, okay, it is already in number, and then 0. Okay, it is already taken as a whole number. And make sure that this is bold. Either you can bold it out, or if you want to show that this is the answer, what you can do is you can highlight this cell like this. But make sure that the color that you're choosing, it should not be something like this or something like this. The number should be seen. Okay, a nice color you can put like this, or you can bold it out. Okay, I will bold it out. If you want to remove the fill, just say no fill. Okay, I will make this bold so that I know that this is the answer. Or maybe you can even underline also. So I know that this is the forward rate 473951. Okay, and this is in, make sure that you write the currency here, Swiss franc. Now I'm going to drill under. If you want, the answer is here. Just check 4739159. This is the answer. 4739159. Okay, don't put anything in comma and all, because otherwise it will delete as a text. You cannot perform functions on it. Now we are going to go to the second, which is futures. This is because I'm explaining you, I'm going slow. Otherwise you have to do it this at very high speed, collecting number from here, the rates and all. Definitely, if I get time, inshallah, I will try to do another question, same, where I will not explain you. I will just keep on doing, and I will see whether I can do it in the time given. So this I will make it bold. Under future, there are so many steps that you need to go. Future is not easy like forward. Why? Because on the future you have to find the basis rate, the closing rate, profit and loss, number of contracts to be bought and sold, right? If you see here, just let me take you to the requirement. Just see the requirement. They also asked you including the number of contracts bought or sold. That also you have to include in your answer. So these things, okay. So if you see the answer, just see these things, okay. I can just copy paste it from here using future contract. You always need to write like this. Whether which future you are taking. Okay, let us go to the future first. You see under future there are two. One is 3 month expiry, one is six month expiry. Which one are you taking? 6 month wala. Because it's 4 month. You have to hedge for 4 month. So this is the opening future price 1.0659. And also you have to find the number of contracts. Okay, so that's why this beginning after you write future, under that you have to write that whether you're going to buy future or sell future. So it's a dollar payment, right? Dollar payment in 4 months time, so they will need to hedge against Swiss weakening. Why Swiss weakening? Because it's a dollar payment. So if dollar strengthens in value, that means payment will increase. So they have to hedge against it. Dollar strengthening or Swiss franc weakening. Okay, it's the same thing. That's why the company should go short. Okay, make sure that you write this line first, and then you say that company should go short. And all this you can write in Excel. No need to write in Word. In Excel only you can write. So they need to go, and 6 month future contract is undertaken. Okay, 6 month. Now you have to find the closing future price. Okay, so closing future price, to find out, if you see there are two methods, you can either use this method or you can use this method. In this method they are taking both the 3 month and the 6 month expiry date, the difference and all, and this month they are taking the spot rate and the opening future uh, difference. So I'm going with this method. Okay, the second method. So in the Excel, how to put it? Opening future price. So you put your opening future price here. What is the opening future price? It is this one, 1.0659. Remember something, if you're trying to copy paste and it's not copying pasting, okay, if it's very short, something small figure or small sentence, small word that you want to copy paste, don't waste your time trying to solve that out. Just type it like this. If it's not copy pasting, sometimes it gets stuck. And you need the spot rate. What is the spot rate? It is given here itself, 1.0635. You need to double click, otherwise it will not type. Okay, and what is the difference? For how many months? You want to hedge for 4 months, but you are taking a 6 month expiry. So unexpired basis will be for how many months? 2/6. Because 4 month you want to hedge only. Out of that you are taking 6 month. So 2 months extra you are not hedging. So 2/6. Sorry, 4 months. So 4/6. 4 divided by 6. Just put it as 4/6. Now, okay, I think this is not taken as a number. Okay, just leave it. So now if you want to find the closing future price, closing future price, you have to put the equal sign. Okay, the formula is, this is the formula that we are following. Okay, not this one. This one, if you want, you can try. But the amount you are getting is same if you see 1.0651, 1.0651 under both method. So the formula is spot rate plus again another bracket, the difference between spot and future. Okay, opening future minus closing future, close bracket, multiply this by 4 over 6. Sorry, it's a close bracket, and you multiply this by again bracket 4 divided by 6, because out of 6 months 4 months you are hedging. You see, so no need to write that and then calculate. Automatically if someone clicks this cell, they can check this number. Okay, so it's better to write this number beforehand in a cell, so that easily you just have to click the cell and you will get it. Otherwise, imagine in that whole formula you have to type 1.06 minus this, again you have to type it, waste so much of time. Okay, even though it takes some additional time to write all those things, make sure that in the beginning only you write all this stuff down, because later if you need any forward rate, for example, you might later need that forward rate, again you can go and take it. You might need this closing, opening or closing, you can immediately take it. Okay, now what else? You have the closing future price. What else do you need? Number of contracts bought or sold, because you are buying future, remember, like this. Okay, you are selling, sorry, you're buying or selling future. It's a payment, just will go to the future. It's a dollar payment, and if you see the contract size of the future, it is in Swiss franc. That means it's a Swiss future. So dollar we have to buy because it's a dollar payment. Buying dollar means we have to sell Swiss franc. So that means we are going short in the future. You have to sell future. Okay, you can say short, going short in the future, or sell future is the same. It's the same thing. Okay, so we'll write here now. But you can write it in the beginning also, or later also. It does not matter. So sell future since it's a dollar payment and needs to hedge against a Swiss franc weakening, or you can say dollar strengthening. Dollar strengthening means payment will increase. Okay, you see. So this also you can go and form in the cell. Go to the alignment. Just the text. Okay, you don't have that option to wrap over here. Okay, so you can see the whole sentence here, but here you have to take this like this. But I will keep it like this only. This is for your understanding. Okay. Uh, 6 month expiry. These points you need to write. Okay, you're getting point marks for this. These are not optional things. 6 month expiry because wants to hedge for 4 months or in 4 months time. Now contracts to be sold. Remember, when you have to find the number of contracts, your contract size and your currency has to be same. This is in Swiss franc, but your payment is 5,60,000. It is in US dollar. So first convert it into Swiss franc and divide by 125,000. Don't convert this to dollar. This will remain fixed. That currency you have to convert to Swiss franc first and then divide by 125,000 to get the number of contracts. So if you see, now you know the closing future price. So now using this rate, you can convert your payment. Now you will see the advantage. So equal to, how are you going to convert? We know that this is the payment. You can write here also rather than going up and down. You see, it's taking so much of time, me scrolling up again, going down. Here only you can write. Divide by this rate, closing rate. Okay, then put bracket. Then put bracket. You can directly divide it again by 125,000 and put it also, but I will put the contract size in a different cell because later I can use it then. Contract size. I will put this also because later I can use this for my later reference, 125,000. Now, I'll not write this as contracts to be sold. I'll write Swiss franc payment. So payment in Swiss franc now. Dollar payment you have converted into Swiss franc using closing future price. Now do you know, do you understand why we have to calculate this closing future price to convert that? Now number of contracts to be sold. We are going to put all the answers in the second column, so everything will go in this column. Okay. This is for description, the first column. So number of contracts to be sold, let me bold it out because requirement asked you. This divide by this. Simply. Now, you can keep this or you can round up this. Better to keep this so you know that this is the actual answer. There has been an under hedging or over hedging. So we'll put here. You can put here or here anyway, 38. 38 is the number of contracts to be sold. Paste. This I will bold it out. You see, 38 contract. That means you have taken less contract than what is required. That means there has been an under hedging. So you see the answer. You see, 38 contracts. But keep that actual answer also with you. So that's it for our future. Now we are going to options. So future is done. Options, I'm going to bold it. Under options also same thing you have to go through. So no need to repeat it. You can just copy paste this thing. Copy, paste. When you're copy pasting it, okay, this is not now sell future. The question is whether you have to go for a call option or a put option. Definitely it's a 6-month expiry, that we know. But call or put option, it's a borrowing. And if you see the contract size, this is Swiss franc. We have to buy dollar means we have to sell Swiss franc. Sell Swiss franc means put option. Because contract is in Swiss franc. So put option. Okay. So here you have to say buy put option because we have to. Okay, I will write it for you because since this is the first question I'm doing. Buy put option since it's a dollar payment and needs to hedge against Swiss franc weakening. Okay, this thing is repeated, so you can just copy paste it. 6-month expiry because want to hedge, that's the same thing, so no need to change. Now you see, even the actual answer also is like that. Forward bold, under future it's bold, the subheadings are always bold. And under options, here also they are writing the same thing. Okay, it's a for the 4 months time, it's a dollar payment you want to hedge for the 4-month time, so take a 6-month put option. Okay, and needs to hedge against Swiss franc weakening. There are 2 exercise price that is given to you. They didn't tell which exercise price, so in this condition you have to use both exercise price. Under both exercise price you have to show the impact. Okay, how are you going to show like this? Exercise price and then exercise price 1.07. So for options we have to write a lot of things. So exercise price, write it. Exercise, write both the exercise price in one cell, so that later you can use it for your reference. From here you have to click the cell only. Exercise price 1, exercise price 2. Okay. Now premium also you can write it somewhere. So premium, if you say it's 2.16 and 2.63, okay, premiums are given in cents per Swiss franc. Cents. 100 cent is equals to $1. Okay, so this is 2.16. If you want, you have to first convert this into dollar, my dear friends. So how are you going to convert this cents into dollar? Just simply divide it by 100. Okay, 2.16 divided by 100, 2.60 divided by 100. Okay, so premium also, we'll write it here. So how are you going to write the premium, since it's one is for 1.06? Or otherwise do like this. Don't write it like this. Exercise price you're writing, right? Put it like this, 1.07. You see, this is easier now. Premium. So premium first one is 2.16. So equal to 2.16 divided by 100. And this will be equal to 2.63. So 2.63 divided by 100. Keep this ready, okay? And let me see it is, okay, dollar per this thing now, okay. What else? How many contracts? You have to buy contracts now, because we are having a number of put options that we are buying. We are buying number of put options. So number of contracts. How are you going to get number of contracts here? Under options. Remember, your payment is in dollar. First, you have to convert it into Swiss franc to divide it by 125,000, because contract size both for options and future are 125,000. And the good thing is, right, in any question you check all the past paper here, always the contract size of options and futures are same. Okay, and most of the time even the number of contract is similar. So here, how are you going to convert? We know the payment, right? Equal to, already we wrote the payment up. You see, divide this by exercise price. What is the exercise price? 1.06. You have to divide it by exercise price now, to first convert it into Swiss franc to divide by 125,000. Now divide this further by contract size. What is the contract size? Already I wrote it somewhere. You see, this is the reason. Once I write it somewhere, it will be helpful for all the other calculations in the future. Close bracket, enter. It didn't? Okay. Something went wrong. So this divided by this, close bracket, divide by this. I put a bracket, that's why it didn't work out. This. You see? So keep this here, and right below it only, we are going to use 38 contracts. So this you can make it bold and write number of contracts. That means here we are using less. Okay. So since here we are using less, okay, we will be using some, this thing, wait. Okay. So what else is remaining? Let me check the answer. Mm, yes. Now you have to calculate the premium. Premium is important. But before premium, remember, you first have to calculate the payment. Why? Because you have used less contract. You were supposed to use 38.18. You're using lesser contract. That means you are not hedging the entire 5,060,000. So how much you are hedging? You have to find the Swiss franc payment, CHF payment. Okay, to find that, simply multiply the number of contracts by the contract size. Okay, so equal to this multiply by, because 38 contracts you are taking, by the contract size, which is 125,000. Enter. So exactly this much, and this is in Swiss franc. It is not in dollar, because both the number of contract is also in dollar, contract size is also in sorry, Swiss franc. Both are in Swiss franc. So this is Swiss franc payment. Okay, this is a Swiss franc payment. You see here. You need to convert it and find it like this. If you are using a lesser or a contract more than that, then you have to do this. Otherwise, it's not needed, because if it's entirely hedged, you are getting exact amount round of figure, then this calculation is not needed. Okay, now we have to calculate premium. So premium, how are you going to calculate? We are going to work everything under this column for 1.06. Okay, so premium. Okay, premium, remember this are in dollar. It will be a dollar payment. You have to convert it into Swiss franc also. Okay, it should be a Swiss franc premium. So equal to, okay, this, or you can take this payment only, because you have already multiplied 38 by 125,000. So this multiply by this. Just, yes, it's simply this multiply by this. You will get this one premium. But this premium is in US dollar. I'm sorry, it is not in Swiss franc. It is in US dollar. It's in dollar. Because this premium price is in dollar, it's dollar per 1 Swiss franc. You have to convert this into Swiss franc later on. Okay, you can do simultaneously both together if you want. Okay, here also you can do the same thing if you want to find the number of contracts under 1.07 also. So it is this divided by the exercise price. Okay, I forgot to divide this by 125,000. So divide this further by 125,000. You see, it is 37.83 something. Okay, so we'll round it up and we'll use 38 contracts. That means here we are using more contract than required. So it will be an over hedging. And here if you want to find the payment, it will be same, because 38 contract into 125. So this simply just copy paste it here. If you copy paste it here, it will be 0. Why? This has a formula in it. So when you're copy pasting like this, remember, take the value. So copy, paste special, and click on the values. Okay, and premium also Swiss franc you have to take. So on this amount, just multiply by, you can either take this or you can do like that, 125 into 38, but it's the same thing, because number of contracts into contract size into the premium will be the total amount of premium. It will be in dollar, but okay. So now both you have in US dollar. Now what do you have to do? Convert it into Swiss franc. premium in Swiss franc. You cannot keep it in dollar. How are you going to convert it into Swiss franc? You have to use the spot rate, not exercise price. Use the spot rate. Spot rate I wrote in the beginning only. Somewhere, this spot rate 1.0635 here to convert. Because premium, whether you exercise or not, always use the spot rate. You have to pay the premium in the beginning. So, equal to this. Always see whether you're selecting the correct cell or not. Divide by the spot rate. What is the spot rate? This one. Close bracket. Enter. Okay, and make sure that you round this up to the whole number. If you're not able to see, just go up this format cell and 0. So here also, this is also same way. You have to take this divide by the spot rate, which is 1.0635. So now if you want to round up this to the whole number, format cell, go here and OK. Format cell 0. OK. Okay, make sure that you write everything in this one. This is now in Swiss franc. After that, what else? Amount not hedged. Okay, amount not hedged you have to find out. So amount not hedged. Not hedged. Not hedged under this one, not this one, because this is you are using more contract than required. This one you are using less contract. So what is the difference? You have to find out that difference. Okay, and this is the way you find the difference. You first have to convert it into dollar first, because the payment is in dollar, 5,060,000. So here, this is the payment. From here you minus, put bracket. What is the exercise price? You first have to convert it into, you have already the payment in the Swiss franc. This payment converted in back to dollar, because this 5,060,000 is in dollar. From that, deduct how much you are not hedging. How are you going to do that? Multiply it by the exercise price, 1.06. 25,000. Simply 25,000. 25,000 US dollar. Okay. You can add the sign also. Same way, this also. From this total 5,060,000 minus how much you didn't hedge. So take the Swiss franc, the this bit, where is it? Yes, this is the Swiss franc payment, and multiply. You're converting it back to the dollar. Okay, you have divided that exercise price by 5,060,000 and you got this. Now you are doing reversing it back. That's why you're multiplying by the exercise price, which is 1.07 for this. This takes time. You see, so much of time is it's taken from here to here. This is in deduction, because this is not this is overhedged amount. Okay, you can remove the minus by showing this, by putting a minus sign outside the bracket. Okay, better to show it here. But make sure that when you're writing it, use a formula like this, so that formulas can be seen. Okay, rather than you typing that 22,500. So this amount over hedged. That means you can take the benefit now. This is over hedged. Okay, this will not come as not hedged. So now this, that means you have to use this, you have to hedge using forward this 25,000. Okay, now we have to convert using forward this 22,500. How? Use the forward rate. Forward rate already we know, so use forward equal to this divided by the forward rate. If you remember the forward rate, just write it. If you're not, then go up and use this rate. Simply close bracket, enter, and forward cell this. Okay, 23,400. This is in Swiss franc. Currency has to be very clear. 23,415. Now here also, before that, total payment. What is the total payment now? Even though it's a few option, but we are using some part of it, portion of it we are hedging using forward because it's not hedged fully under options. So total payment equal to, you can just put some function and just click the cell. Okay, whenever it's not, there's a gap in the sum function, just click that number and put comma, click the cell and comma, like that. So here, what is the Swiss the payment? Swiss payment, you have to add this one, comma, the premium. It's a payment. All these are payment. Premium in Swiss franc, comma, the amount that you're using under forward, this close bracket. This now don't forget to take it to the whole number. Okay, so this is the actual number now, 4,860,000. Now we are going to get a benefit from this. Okay, it's a benefit, this 22,500. So here we are going to take this and divide by the forward rate. Doing this simultaneously like this rather than one after the other saves a lot of time. So because this is your first video on a CBE platform for AFM, I'm going a bit slow. Otherwise, this is not the speed which is expected. Now, when you come to the total payment, okay, remember this you cannot add, you have to deduct. It's a benefit, okay, and for the total benefit, this will reduce your payment, so you have to deduct this. Okay, so what I'm going to do, the Swiss payment plus, plus the premium minus this, and format cell this. You can easily, it will be bold. You see, you can easily check comparable. So under option, that's the total payment. Okay, now we are coming to the advice. So for advice session, we have to use Excel, sorry, the Word. Okay, so this figure, keep it, or otherwise you can make a summary at the end. You can write under all. If you want, you can write a summary. If you have time, you can do this, so that every time you don't have to keep on scrolling up and down. Normally when too many figures are there, it's better to put a summary. Forward, future, exercise price 1.06, exercise price 1.07. So under forward, you just go up and just copy paste. paste special and just again click OK, values. Same for future. This is the Swiss payment. Copy, paste. Every time you have to format cell. So now you can easily compare and see which one is giving you the lowest payment. Right? You can see that the lowest payment is under forward and the highest payment is under the two option. So now we are going to go to the word processor. This yesterday I have done it. That's why you can see in one of my word processors like this. But it took so much of time. Okay. When I used calculator. So advice, you can go to word and advise like this. Since the requirement asked you advise appropriate hedging strategy and also including the number of contracts bought and sold. Okay, so when you are writing the advice you can write here, but when you are especially the contract bought and sold also has to be highlighted in your answer. Okay, so that they know that this requirement has been answered, because others are just workings, but mainly you have to highlight those things whatever the requirement says. And advice comes in the word processor, so you don't have to highlight anything, just write advice and under that you can write the advice. Okay, for example, advice will be, you can say that forward is giving you the lowest payment, but the disadvantages of forward is that it is binding. Okay, and there's a default risk, the credit risk is high under forward because it's not an exchange traded option, exchange traded derivative, it is an over the counter, unlike futures and options. Even though future is expensive, you can take the advantage of future of a favorable exchange rate. So those things, and future is in between these two things, so you can talk about these things. Okay, I'm not going to write the answer because I know it's something that you can read through and write it in your own words. And finally the conclusion you are giving. Okay, you think that forward is chosen because it is the lowest risk, even though there's some risk, or option should be chosen, or future, whatever you're writing in the conclusion. Remember, you will be getting the marks if you can justify. That means if you just write advantage and disadvantage, that's it. Like how they have written here, forward is chosen because it is giving the lowest payment, but there's a risk of default which has to be considered. That's it. You have to give the drawback also of the forward when you're giving it as a recommendation in a conclusion. This is a skill you need to master in AFM, in any answer. So that's it for part A. Now we are coming to part B. Okay, I'm not going to go through the requirements D because it's writing theory. I'm just going to show you the structure. That's it. I'm not going to go in depth on the answer that you can read through. But B and C we have to do. It's calculation. So B. And you can even use this figure in your word when you're writing it. Okay. So your this thing. For swap, you need four things. Two variable rates, two fixed rates, and the bank fees. Bank fees is 20 basis point for both. Okay, two fixed rate, one of the company, one of the counterparty, two variable rate, one of you, one of the counterparty. That's it. You need that table. Okay, so the figures are there. Okay, this is the figure. I will show you from where they have taken the figure. Just see here. Counterparty can borrow at variable rate, yield plus 0.8 or a fixed rate 3.8. This is for the counterparty. But for you, it is here. Fixed rate is 2.2 and yield rate is 0.4%. So for you it is in exhibit 2, for the counterparty it is under exhibit 3 in two different exhibits. You see, you have to collect from two different exhibits this figure and write it in a form of a table. For this also you can use Excel or Word also. B. You have to write it that this is B. You see this table. So first you are going to write fixed rate and floating rate. This is a standard table. Whenever you get swap, interest rate swap, you start like this. CMC is your company and counterparty. And the interest rate. But this is quicker in Excel because you don't have to make a table then. Interest rate difference. 3 columns you need. Okay, let my spelling be wrong, it's okay. So CMC fixed rate 2.2%. And for floating rate it is 0.4%. You can write yield rate or you can just write Y plus 0.4%, simply like this. Okay. For him it is 3.8% and Y plus 0.8%. If you see under both, under fixed and floating rate, CMC is having an advantage because he's having a lower fixed rate compared to counterparty. He's having a lower floating rate compared to counterparty. But under which is he having that higher advantage? That only he has to select under swap. So this is how you decide. In the question, examiner will not tell you which rate they are going to choose under swap. You have to decide based on the interest rate difference. That's why we are doing this third column. So simply, it is the difference between these two. If you take this minus this, okay, you can format this cell and take it in terms of percentage like this, 2%. No, we'll take it in the exact number like this, 0.00%. Okay, you see it's 1.6% is the difference. Now let us take the difference between these two and see whether Excel will perform this function or not. This minus this will not perform. Why? So Y is there. Because of this, it's not a number anymore. We'll just try and see this. It will not take it. Both has to be number. But when you deduct both, Y will anyway go off. Okay, what is remaining is only 0.8 and 0.4. So 0.8 minus 0.4 is 0.4% only. This you have to bring it to the percentage. You cannot keep this in like this and this one and this. It has to be in same terms. So go format cell, coming to all and percentage like this. It has to be in percentage. If it's not coming in percentage, what you can do, just select a different one and again come back. It is 0.4, 0.4%. You can put that sign. Okay. So this is the interest rate differential. Now you have to write that sentence. I'm not going to write it. This sentence that CMC has, you see which one is having a higher difference. That rate they have to choose. You see CMC is having a higher interest rate differentials in the fix. So that means under swap CMC will take fix, counterparty will take variable. Decided. This too, let me highlight it. Okay, highlight it. So this will be fill and that's it. Okay, you have to change the color and then okay, this is with swap. That means without swap it is 3.8 and Y plus 0.4%. 4. You have to write it. The CMC has a comparative advantage in fixed, counterparty in floating rate. Okay, so that's why they have to choose this. And what is the total benefit? You have to take the difference between these two also. So equal to this minus this. Okay, this you have to take it in terms of percentage. This is the benefit. This is the total benefit. Okay, you have to take the difference between this two because he's going to have this benefit only. This benefit he will lose out by not choosing this. So this minus this is this. So this is the gain before deducting bank fees. What is bank fees? It's 20 basis point. But this has to be divided equally among the two parties. So divided equally, it will be this. Sorry, this divided by 2 because gain is divided to 60. Take it in percentage. 0.6% is the gain. Okay, it's a gain. Now you have to draw this table as well. So CMC and counterparty we already have. CMC borrows at counterparty. Memorize this table for interest rate. If you're not understanding, memorize it. At least the line, what line will come after what. Advantage, net result. Your net result has to be correct. Everything depends on your net result. Okay. Then comes your swap. Counterparty, this is counterparty base. Okay, I'll just write CMC pays, counterparty receives. Counterparty pays. CMC receives, counterparty. This is okay. Never mind, my spelling is wrong. It's okay. Okay. Now, so they borrow at with swap at 2.2%. This one. So copy, paste special, just a value. When you're taking the value, it comes like this. So you need to format again. So rather than doing it, you can just type it 2.2%. Okay. And they are borrowing at Y plus 0.8 percent. 0.8%. Okay. Advantages just now we got this 60 basis point. 0.6 means 60 basis point. Okay. You can just write 0.6%. This is wrong. It should come here. So the advantage is 0.6% or you can write 60 basis point. It's the same thing. Net result. What is the net result? Your before swap minus your gain. So before swap you are taking this Y plus 0.4 minus your gain. So it will become Y minus 0.2. Okay, if you take the formula it will not take because Y is not a number. So you can write it like this simply. And this before swap, that means 3.8 minus 0.6. So it will be 3.2%. Understanding? This has to be correct. Because based on this, then you will know this table. So counterparty. See, you always start with Y. Who is paying Y and who is receiving Y? Start with that because fixed rate is the balancing figure. So who has the Y counterpart? So CMC. That means CMC is paying Y because you see in the net result he's paying Y. So CMC is paying Y, and counterparty will receive that Y. Now the fixed is variable. Who is paying the fixed? Counterparty. So from counterparty's point of view, we have to calculate. How are we calculating the fixed rate? It's 3.2. It's 3.2. So you see, they are borrowing at a floating rate. They are borrowing at this rate. The yellow one, just after swap, Y plus 0.8. So from there, okay, it has to be 3.2. It has to be 3.2. So the difference, Y plus 0.8 minus 3.2, it will be 2.4%. Just take this difference. It is 2.4. It is 2.4. So counterparty is paying that 2.4%. And CMC is receiving 2.4%. How 2.4%? Just check. Y plus 0.8. So Y plus 0.8, they are receiving, counterpart is receiving what? Counterpart is receiving this, no? Y from CMC. Sorry, this is not CMC. This is counterparty that is receiving Y. So counterpart is receiving Y means this Y and this Y will cancel off. He's only left with 0.8. So 3.2 minus 0.8 is 2.4. He has to pay 2.4 to come to the 3.2. Okay, that's how you're getting it. Now, after this table is done, you need to write this. That after deducting 20 basis point, they will pay interest at yield and 40 basis point. And they will get benefit by 40 basis point. And counterparty will pay interest at 3.4% and benefit by 40 basis point. Okay, so you can do the adjustments you can do. Now let us go to C. Just let's go to the requirement B. Demonstrate how they would benefit from the swap. So you can use the Excel or you can write it in the Word also. But for the discussion part like this, I always say that having this thing is better. Write it in the Excel. MS Word is better. It's convenient. Okay, because for the calculation and all, they can refer the table in the Excel. Now we are coming to requirement number C. Modify duration of the loan and explain also. So the explanation part you can write it here in Word, but calculating you can do in Excel. And this is a very common question. You can see your textbook answer. A revision kit is also there. Explain how duration can be used to measure the sensitivity of the loan to the changes in the interest rate. So I'm not going to go through that answer, but modify duration, yes. C. Now this is C. Make sure that you are writing it C. Let's see. So for modified duration, you need these things. One is annuity factor and one is the percent rate. Because you are paying interest on a loan, equal annual installments you are paying for 4 years. That's why 4 years and the rate is 2% is given already. So annuity factor is for 4 years, 2%. How are you going to get the annuity factor? Go to help formula sheet. Go to the formula sheet. Go to the annuity factor. What is the rate? 2%. And the 4th year. So it is 3.808. You need to double click the cell, otherwise if you are typing also it will not come. You see, this is how you get this figure 3.808. Now you have to find the Equal annual installments. Remember, the amount of the loan is 60 million. Loan. So the loan is 60 million. 60, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 6 zeros after 60. So when you want to find out, it will be this divided by this annuity factor. And this I'm going to format the cell and take it to the decimal place. This is the amount. Okay, equal annual amounts repayable per year. Equal, you are paying this every year the same amount. Next, we are finding what is known as Mekalo duration. Mekalo duration you have to find out before you find modified duration. You can even make it bold also. How do you find Mekalo duration? They are following a formula. Okay, you need the present value for the 4 year. So you have this and you have the present value also, you have to multiply. We'll just keep the present value at 2%, go it and find the present value at 2% for the 4 years. 0.98, 0.961, 0.942 and 0.924. So you can write it somewhere. Zero point 0.961, 0.9, kind of forgot, 942 and 0.924. So now write the years also. Now use the formula. Okay. This multiply by this multiply by this. Make sure you try to format cell to all up. Okay. Now you can drag it to the other cell, but remember you have to make this into a dollar sign. You have to lock that cell because the same amount you're using. So just go before that and put this dollar sign. It will lock it. So now I'm going to drag it to the other cell. Okay. Once I have dragged it, now equal to sum function. You are going to put the sum function for all this divided by this amount, the amount of the loan. Round this up to 2 decimal places. So this is your modified duration, 2.47. You see, 2.47 is a Mekalo duration. I'm sorry, Mekalo duration is 2.47. But you have to find out modified duration. Okay, so for modified duration, simply divide this by what? 1.02, which is this, and round up to 2 decimal places. 2.43. You see, it's 2.42. It's coming because this they have rounded up. Okay, it's 1.02. That is the discount factor you are taking, that 2%. That's why it's 1.02. You have to divide it by to find. Okay. So that's it for modified duration. Make sure that you bold this out. And the rest all this answers you can write in your Word. Okay, and you can refer that this number 2.43 or 2.48 will not make such a difference. Just a minute. Okay, just something went wrong. Just let me check this again because okay. So you can write this answer. It's a standard answer. I'm not going to read through the answer. Okay. And now we are moving to our part D, very important part B, because our professional marks lies in part D. For that you have to use Word. Heavily you have to use Word. You see, yesterday I tried to do this in Word like this. It wasted a lot of time. So I've already have it there for you. You start with memorandum because you are supposed to prepare memorandum, and this is the format. You have to write from whom. It is said in the scenario that you are the financial consultant. I think it's you are a financial consultant. You see, in exhibit 1 only. They normally give you the role in exhibit 1. What's your role? To whom do you have to send? Board of directors. And write the date of your exam, and you have to write a subject area also. Okay, subject area, how do you decide? Just see through your requirements. All this requirement, you're summarizing it and writing in 1 or 2 lines. That is your subject. So you see, you are hedging interest exchange, then you are finding the modified duration of loan, then you are seeing proposal 1 and 2. So that's what you're writing here. Management of foreign and interest rate risk, proposal to move operations to 4 branches, and agency issues. That's it. In 1 line, everything is answered. So this memo discusses the proposal of, you have to give the, this is like an introduction for you. Okay, that you have to give the introduction. So this memo discusses the proposal of whether or not they should undertake the management of foreign exchange rates and interest rates, or whether they should go by the 4 operations. That is the main thing this memo will discuss. So go proposal 1, keep some space, go proposal 2 and some space. Because proposal 1 and 2 are different, like this you have to write. For writing like this, you'll get marks. You see the answer. So this is your memo from to date, subject, introduction. Introduction is very brief, not more than 5 lines. Then proposal 1 comes. That also in paragraphs you are writing. That means here you are talking about something, here you are talking about something, right? So foreign exchange and interest rate risk you can keep in 2 separate paragraphs. Basically, you have to say whether it should be done or not, whether it will increase the shareholders' wealth or not, and also agency issue also. And then proposal 2. Make sure that you write the heading for proposal 2. International branches, agency issues, and their mitigation. Proposal 1 was management of foreign exchange and interest rate exposure. Okay, so you see, you can go through this answer, and you see it's written in different paragraphs. Now, let me take you through the guideline of this, the marking scheme. That's it. We have covered question number 1. So calculation using forward is just 1 mark. Going short on future and purchasing put option is 2 mark. Just for defining, just for writing that sentence that you're selling future and you're buying put option, 2 marks. Future rate that you have predicted, the closing future rate, 1 mark for the calculating of the closing future price. Then number of contracts, 2 marks. Expected payment also, and also number of contracts. Options using both, 3 marks. Okay, and options using the second rate or explanation. If you have used either this or that, 3 marks. Okay, but if you're using both the exercise price, then only you will get full marks. Remember that. If you're using the second rate also, 3 plus 2, 5 marks. So you're losing 2 marks if you're not writing both the exercise price. Then advice 1 to 2 marks. So advice you see 4 to 5 marks is on advice. That means you have to talk about advantages and disadvantages of the three methods, forward, future, and option, and compare among with themselves. For example, forward, you can hedge. It could be customized, but not futures and options because they have particular contract size which is 125,000, just standardized. So like this, you're comparing. Coming to part B, interest rate swap. Advantage, comparative advantage. That means they have an advantage in fixed and they have an advantage in variable. And recognition of that benefit also. And that gain also that you are calculating 2 marks. So initial decision to borrow, fix and floating by counterparty 1 mark. You see, you initially have to decide they are taking swap under what rate. For that you are getting 1 mark. Then the swap impact, that table, through that table only you are showing the swap impact 2 marks. And the net benefit after deducting the bank charges, which is this one. Wait, let me take you through the answer. It is this one. This. You're writing it here. After the bank charges, what is the benefit? Okay, for that you are getting marks. Then we have 3. Annuity amount is 1 mark. Calculating that annual amount. Macaulay duration 2 marks. Modified duration 1 mark only. Okay, and explanation is 3 marks. You see, explanation is always more than numbers. And then let's see that at least the point so that we know, okay, these are the things we have to write. No, discussion of efficient market 2 marks. Why we are talking about efficient market here? Because when they say that hedging is important or not, we have to refer this to hedging efficient market. Whether market is efficient or not. If market is efficient, no need to hedge. If market is not efficient, better to hedge. That's why. So discussion of inefficient market and volatility 2 marks. This you can write in different paragraphs, okay? Discussion of consistent strategy and impact of change 2 marks. Other relevant discussion or additional detail 3 marks. Coming to second part of D. All this will be written in the format of a memo. Other 3 parts does not come under report, okay? Discussion of agency issues 3 to 4 marks. Discussion of mitigation strategies and policies is 4 to 6 marks. You have to be good in this area. This shows that you have to be good in writing part as well as calculations. And professional marks for one is for the format of the memorandum, the other one is the structure and the presentation of that memorandum, 3 marks. And hence 50 marks. So that's it. We have finished question number 1 and 2 of specimen paper. Now, tomorrow, we are left with the last part, which is question number 3, which is relating to accusation and merger. Very important question. Okay. There we are going to cover the 3 types, the impact of 3 types of financing accusation. Cash offer, share offer, cash and share offer, the mixed offer. So don't forget to watch. Till then, take care and see you in the next video.